Hello there. We are getting ready because I'm going to be filming a crazy hair tutorial and my hair is going to look crazy even now. But I thought I would bring you along for the makeup portion because I have some fun items, all affordable, mostly drugstore, but Alter Ego isn't sold at the drugstore, but super affordable, so I'm including that. But we're going to start off with Phyto Glow Lip Mask. This is from Naturium. And I've had this for a little bit. I just keep forgetting to use it. And it's really nice. It's a I would say medium thickness, similar to the feel of the Laneige lip mask, but really nice. It's not plumping, but it is really hydrating. And my lips need a little extra hydration. So we're gonna start there and then let's add some eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna use the Alter Ego eyeshadow base today. This is a really good one and I do have super oily eyelids, but this still gets me through most of the day. This is also my favorite if I want to do a 3-step eye priming with concealer. I'll use this on top of the concealer and then a little powder. And this is just one of my favorites. Super thin, not really any coverage, but it does work really well and it's very affordable. While that sits, let's go to the face. Now for today, I have a mixture of some brand new products and then some old favorites and then some things I found at the back of the drawer. We're gonna see if we're gonna keep them. So in the brand new category, Hard Candy sent me all 6 of their new face primers. So some of these I think they have had before and then they've added on some new ones, but everything from Grip On Lock, Glow On Lock, Matte On Lock, Blur On Lock, Smooth On Lock, and Sweat On Lock. And 4 of the 6 are silicone free. And I kind of experimented with one of them yesterday. I am going to experiment with these 2 today. I have already done all of my skin prep, including sunscreen. So we're gonna see how these things play with sunscreen and all of that. I'm gonna use a combination of the Grip. This one is Major Hydration Natural Dewy Finish with Aloe and Niacinamide. And then this one, I just experimented with this on the back of my hand. Super Matte Skin, All Day Defense from Excess Oil and Sweat. So I'm gonna use this just in the T-zone right here. And I'm gonna use the gripping one on the outer perimeter of the face. So you can always do this if you have combination skin, kind of like I do. You don't have to use the same primer on your whole face. You can just focus something like this, oil sweat control, just in the areas where you get oily. And then we can use the other one, maybe on the outer perimeter of my face, where I tend to end up looking maybe a little drier. So see, yeah, this is kind of pilling a little bit, but let me just tap it in. I'm not gonna overwork it. Okay. This one does not actually on the ingredients. I don't recognize any of these ingredients as being silicone based, but it's not one that says it's silicone free. However, this one does say it is, and this is the Grip On Lock hydrating one. So, okay, I had to pull out a wet wipe to get that sweat control one off of my fingers because it was feeling a little gummy and sticky. We don't want to mess up how this one applies. Now, this one is it's clear, and I think on my arm it felt very cooling. So let's just go around the perimeter with this one. It's very cooling. It's thin. It doesn't feel super thick, but it did kind of set down a little. Yeah, it's a little tacky. So this will be interesting. We'll see how this goes. Ooh, really tacky. For foundation today, I am using one that I'm very familiar with without a primer, so we can see how it works with the primer just to see. This is the Maybelline 30 Hour Lumi Matte Foundation. I've mixed 220 and 118, and I think this is gonna work for me today. Let's just see. I have some Sunless Tanner on, but not too much. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a good mix. And it feels nice going over the part where we have that gripping primer. Let's see how it goes over the center of the face. And I just washed some brushes, so I have some nice clean ones. I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 115, and I'm gonna do that trick kind of where I prep the brush with the foundation, kind of mush it into the palm of my hand, and then apply a little bit to the face. And sometimes I'll go in like this as well, and then go into my hand, because I want the brush to have just kind of a nice even distribution, so you don't have a big old glob in the center of your brush there. Let's just see how this is going on. So I really like how it looks on the outer perimeter of the face. The center actually looks a little bit textury, which is kind of funny because over here where we don't have foundation yet, I think it looks nice and blurred, but we'll see. We'll give it a chance, you know. Foundation's got to settle in and sink in. Let's put a little bit here on the forehead. We'll just do half the face so we can see. Yeah, I'm really liking how the outer perimeter looks. So that gripping primer actually might be a good one for all over the face. It doesn't seem super glowy or shiny there. So even on my combo skin, I think I could get away with it all over my skin. All right, let's do the rest of the face here. Let's go back to the eyes and this new palette from Alter Ego called Sunlit Dreams. It's so pretty. I love the packaging. They always do a great job on their beautiful outside packaging, but the shadows inside. If you're familiar with Natasha Denona palettes, you might be able to figure out which one this one closely resembles. I do appreciate that they don't lay the shadows out in the same order, but they definitely, I think, take inspiration from Natasha Denona palettes, and this is the one that it was inspired by. This is the Warm palette, and I have only played with this one maybe twice. And just this morning, I was reminded in the Natasha Denona palette that there is this really fun duochrome shade. I think we're gonna have to use that today. But to start off, this really doesn't have a good brow bone highlight shade. So I'm gonna pull in one of the other palettes from Alter Ego. I think the Amber Glow, and it's so funny when you see Amber Glow and then Daylight Dreams, no, Daylight, you can see the similarities, but this one replicates the New Nudes palette, and this one's the Gold palette. So each of them has some similarities, but they're still different. So if you've had your eye on one of those Natasha Denona palettes, I actually feel like the quality of Alter Ego shadows is really good. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This does have just a hint of glow, but it's okay. We're just gonna go in sparingly, so it's not completely matte, but I just want a little bit of a highlight there under the brow bone, and something to blend the crease into. And then I'm kind of feeling like I want to do the tape method on the outer corner. Some of you are like, what is the tape method? Well, it's where we take some tape and we give ourselves a guideline for our, it's really helpful if you have hooded eyes and you like to do a little bit of more of a winged out shadow look, or just even a lifted shadow look. So I'm using this tape. This is from Real Techniques. It came in a kit, I think, with some brushes. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. Now you can also just use Scotch tape. Just take off some of the tackiness, and I got way too much tape here. Let's see, we don't need that much. I don't need this all the way to my hairline. So let's just, I'm going to put this here. Okay, so the trick with hooded eyes, this eye is more hooded than this, and you want to steer clear of that fold in the outer corner if you're doing this. And if you're not, it's okay. You can follow along just fine. You'll be just fine. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Sunlit Dreams palette. I'm gonna use a rougher number 16. And I am going for fall colors. My fingernails are the inspiration today. So we're gonna start here and then blend a little bit of this one as well. So we're gonna start with soft and then go cozy. Ooh, I love those names. So soft, I'm gonna blend high up above the crease. And then I'm gonna go in with cozy, go just a little lower. And if you're doing this with the tape, you just want to make sure you go over the edge of the tape. You don't want to go all the way here, but I get a little carried away myself sometimes. All right, and then I'm going to wipe off that brush. Let's go in, oh, let's see. Let's go in here with this shade right here, which is Sierra. I'm just gonna stay with that same brush. Let's just see, I just want a little more depth as we go down. And then, let's see, I think right on the lash line here, let's go in with Cinnamon, this one right here. And I'm just gonna use my finger and go right over the tape. That's the great thing about the tape method, is you can really just slap on the shadow and then peel the tape away, and you have a really nice kind of crisp line, which I'll probably blur it out just a little bit because I don't want it to be too harsh, but it gives you a really nice lifted look on the outer corner. I'm gonna go in with the rougher #1 brush and a little more of that cinnamon shade. And let's just get that right into the corner, raising my brow to make sure I get into the fold there of the eye. And then I'm gonna go back to the blending brush and just blend, blend, blend. So really easy. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated, even though we used a few colors. It was really easy, right? Okay, I think I wanna use this shade on the lid. I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite, most used drugstore cream shadow sticks. Is from L'Oreal, and it's the shade Twinkly Rose. And I just love this. It's so long wearing. It's cooling. It's super smooth glide on the lids. And I just love to use this as a base for mostly lighter shadows, but you can even use it for a different color like I'm going to use today on the lid. And it just grabs that shadow. Okay, let's go in. Let's just have a little fun. Now I know it's gonna have a little bit of green shift to it, but I'm hoping we get overall coppery gold. Ooh, yes, that's so fun. I get accused of doing too many pink eye looks, so you know. I don't want to be accused of that today. We're definitely not using any pink. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with this shade right next to it, just kind of on the inner corner. And okay. Oh, that's so fun. Woo, bring on the fall. Okay, let's do the other eye, and then we'll add some liner. It's been a minute since I have done liquid liner in a video, so let's do it. I'm gonna use the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and this is the shade Dark Chocolate. This is a really nice deep dark brown, but I am gonna top it with a little bit of shadow to kind of mute it and blur it out. I'll show you. So I'm gonna start right in the center of my lash line and really just laying that right on top of the lashes. And then I'm gonna go right to the tape, and I'm gonna go out a bit and lift my brow. You won't be able to really tell the accuracy of the wing until we pull the tape off, but for now, just trusting that our tape is going to reveal a really nice line there. And then what I really like to do is take the 204 brush from BK Beauty and go in with a dark shadow. Let's go in with this one and go right over kind of the top and the edge of it. And it just helps it not look quite so harsh on the top. So we still keep that crisp depth at the lash line, but it's just a little softer. A little blend with our 01 brush. All right, the moment of truth. Let's peel off our tape just gently. And we're pretty good. This one, we've got to do a little bit of some fine tuning. That's okay, we can do that. Okay, before we get there, let's do our lower lash line. I'm going to use the Hard Candy Cold Brew Cream Eyeshadow Pencil. It's been a while since I've used this. And I feel like the other two colors I had in this seemed a little stiffer, drier, but this one seems to have stayed nice and creamy, and these do set down really well. And this color is just screaming fall. I wasn't planning on this necessarily being a fall inspired look, but we've had a couple of cool mornings and it's just giving me that fall vibe. And I know it's just the cool before the heat kicks back in for us, but I'm gonna enjoy it while it's here. Okay, I'm gonna take the 918 from Buzzy Beauty, just a very thin, fine angled brush. And let's go in with a little bit of cinnamon here. And I'm just going to use this right in the outer corner just to kind of connect to that liner on this side and press it into the lashes as well. Do the same here. And I do have uneven eyes, so usually there is one eye that I have to adjust, and that's gonna be this one. So let's just take our liner and fix it. I added a little bit of toast with that fine liner brush. Now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of toast now and just fine tune this edge, this side, I should say, to kind of match what we've got on the other side. If you are blessed with nice even eyes, you don't even have to do any of this finagling. But if you don't have even eyes, these are some of those tricks you can do to make your eyes appear a little more even. Okay, of course we have to do mascara, and that will really help as well. Let's clean up under the eyes. I'm just going in with some Now Solutions almond oil. All right, time for under eye concealer, and already on the chopping block is the Milani Supercharged Tinted Under Eye Brightener. I had this in my drawer, I pulled it out, tested it before I took a shower today. It did nothing. Not only was it not enough color correcting, but I put a concealer over the top of it and I felt like the concealer looked really creasy, and yes. So this is not a win. Let's try something else that I've had in my drawer forever that I do know works well. It's the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is the peach shade. I do hate the applicator. I always stand back because I'm afraid that this is gonna squirt out everywhere. So let's just use a little bit of this color correction here, because the concealer I want to use, I feel like it needs a little help as far as coverage or correcting goes. So I want to give it a fighting chance. So we're going to do a little correction. Also, in my experimenting this morning pre-shower, I had pulled out the L'Oreal Ageless. What is this? The Age Perfect Radiant Concealer. I used a little bit of this on the outer corner of my eye to test it, and I had major creases, and I really don't even have like serious crow's feet out there. So that's on the chopping block. But the one I want to try today is the Pacifica Dreamlit Glow Concealer. I really feel like I've only used this a couple times and I don't remember my experience. So let's try this one today. And I don't feel like they have a very good shade range. I'll try to read that tiny, tiny, tiny little print there and figure out what shade I actually have. But I have two shades and the other one is super pale. So let's see if this is, it's still a little light, but maybe we can make it work. It does feel very hydrating. I do remember that from previous trial. I've tried some different powders recently, so maybe the combination of this and one of those powders is gonna be a new drugstore win. We'll see. And I feel like I could use just a little more. I'm just gonna put a little here. I don't want to get too carried away. I'm using the A5006 from BK Beauty, Angie Hot and Flashy collaboration. I'll just take my foundation brush and just kind of tap over the edge, try and blend those things together. All right, we're gonna let that concealer sit and have time to crease. It's okay if it creases before powder, right? All right, something else I pulled out of the back of my drawer. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand. I feel like I bought this maybe at the end of summer. I mean, look, I hardly even used it. So let's just see what we think about this. I don't recall. I thought it was pretty good, but who knows? You know what? I better blend it out as I go because I can't remember if it dries fast. I use the BK Beauty 107 brush, and it does seem to set pretty quickly. Ooh, is it disturbing the foundation underneath? That would be the question. Guess we're gonna find out. This definitely has more of a reddish tone to it. I am seeing on my skin, which might be, well, let's just add more. When in doubt, add more, right? Add a little bit on the sides of the nose here, little contour. I don't think this is for me. I think the tone of it is just not quite right for my skin tone. It doesn't look bad, but I do kind of feel like my cheeks maybe look a little patchy. I don't know. Let's pull out another drugstore favorite. The e.l.f. contour bronzer. This is a really good one. So you can see just the tone is so much better for my skin tone. And I think this is like fair light. This does come in lots of different shades. So I just feel like this one gives me more of a true contour shade for my skin tone. If you're somebody who likes the reddish tone, then you might really love that Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand, but I don't think it's a good fit for me. Okay, go back with our our foundation brush. Just tap in the edge of all that. All right. Okay. See, this is so helpful. It's helping me clean out the stuff that I'm just really not going to wear and use. All right. I found this Revlon Glimmer Blush Drops. This is Coralicious. And let's see. I know a lot of people were just baffled by the packaging of this, but it's just like the Hourglass blushes that came out. But I can't remember how the formula is, so I'm just gonna do a dot on the back of my hand, and let's go in with a rougher number 4 brush. Now this, ooh, that's pretty. Might have a little more pink. Whoa, a lot more pink. Okay. And I'm going in on an unpowdered face. I think that's really important. Wow, those are so pigmented. Seriously, you saw 1 drop. Oh my. Okay, and I'm going to wipe off my brush. I think that is why people have struggled with these. I feel like the original colors in the Rare Beauty blushes were like this. Oh my word, that is so much color. Okay, wow. I mean, the color's really pretty. That was 1 drop. And I feel like I'm pretty proficient at applying cream liquid blushes, and wow, is it out of control. Let's just dial that back a little bit. Taking my foundation brush, going over it. I do like that it's dried down, it's set down, it doesn't look really dewy, but holy moly, that's a lot of color. I'm going to just tap a little bit of foundation over that and just tone that down. Okay, that's better. It was not only a lot of color, but just a little too much on the pink side for what I'm going for today. And I want to leave some room for, I have a powdered blush that I think will help bring the tone of the cheeks a little more in line. Okay, that's better. All right, so there you go. There's your tip. If you get a little out of hand with blush, go in just with a little bit of foundation. Usually what's left on my brush is enough, but not today. Checking out the under eyes. I do have a little bit of maybe some creasing there. I'm just gonna tap that out. And for under eye setting powder, I've been debating between two of my favorites from the drugstore, the Wet n Wild Pink Powder and the Revolution Hydro Blur. Or Hydro Cool Baking Powder. Let's go in with this one again. It's been a little bit since I've used this one, and it generally has been working pretty well. Applied with a small fluffy brush and just tapped under the eye. It does feel really nice and cooling, thus the name. But this does not work with a powder puff. Don't even try it. I did it on camera with you all, and it was awful. But applied with a brush in a very light manner, it does seem to do a good job of blurring. For the rest of the face, I'm just going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is the original translucent powder. And I am going to go in with a powder puff to apply this on the rest of the face. So I'm going to press it into the center of my face here. And then with kind of what's left, I'll go around the perimeter. I pulled out my summer shade of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is Endless Summer. I'm not hoping for endless summer, but I know some of you, that sounds dreamy and wonderful. Here in Southern California, we are looking for early fall, but we'll apply this and make it look like we have endless summer right in our skin. So this is definitely deeper and a little more warmth than the original bronzer shade, which is more of what I use kind of in the winter time. But this is pretty, I love that it's not just a flat matte bronzer, but definitely brought a little more warmth to those cheeks. Tone down that pink blush a little bit. I actually don't think I need any other blush or color on the cheeks today, so I think we might just leave it there. Let's go in with the L'Oreal Lumi La Glace. This is the pearl shade. And let's just add a little bit of this on the top of the cheeks. This just gives the cheeks a nice kind of wet look. But I don't find that this remains sticky. There's no glitter. It's just beautiful. Changed my mind. I'm entitled, right? I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this Almay blush. This is the shade Nearly Nude, and I'm just gonna take this Buzzy Beauty 904 brush, and what I wanna do is just kind of use this to blur the edge of those cheeks just a little bit. There we go. Let's go back to our palette and just add a little more inner corner highlight there. Yeah, this, like, the good thing is it sets down. Like, it is not going anywhere. So I'm guessing this is gonna last me all day. But wow, I just wish, oddly enough, that it wasn't so pigmented. It would be a win. All right, let's go for brows. And I don't really have anything new, but I did pull out this CoverGirl brow, what is it? Clean Fresh Brow Enhancer, and it's a gel wax. We're gonna see how this goes. And this is the shade Medium Brown. But first I'm gonna start off with the pencil, the Nano Brow Pencil. I think I'm gonna go in with the blonde shade to start. I might bring in medium brown as well, just on the arch of the brow. I'll fast forward this so you don't have to painstakingly wait for me to get every stroke through my brows. I'm gonna take a little bit of that medium brown just through this back part of my brow. All of a sudden I couldn't talk there. Here. Okay, let's add a tiny little bit of the CoverGirl brow wax gel. Whatever it's called. They just wanted to get all of those terms in there, right? This is actually pretty pigmented. So at first when I'm applying it, it doesn't feel like it's gonna have hold, but then as it dries, it does seem to have a little bit of hold, but I've still got little brow hairs turning down. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll put that one back in the drawer for now. Okay, let's do a little bit of setting spray. I'm gonna use the Hard Candy Look Unlock setting spray. This is the All Day Slay. I do feel like the mister on this is so nice. It doesn't get droplets everywhere. Just gives you a really nice, even coating. Let's do some mascara. I'm gonna curl my lashes. Gonna use my favorite drugstore combination. So the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer and then the Revlon Full Time from Color Stay. So this is just a sample size of the L'Oreal mascara. If you didn't see my recent full face of sample makeup, I'll link that. It was a very fun video and it really helped me try out some new products that I put on my purchase list. And I also eliminated several products from my must-buy list. Okay, while the mascara dries, let's go to lips. I think that Naturium lip mask is actually a win. There is a lot of nice hydration and it's a huge package. So let's go to the edge of the lips. I'm going to add a little bit of, this is the Morphe Solo Artist eyeshadow, and this is the shade Airplay. It's a little light for me, but we'll make it work. Sometimes I'll mix it in with the shade Mixtape, but today I don't think I need to do that. For lip liner, I pulled out another shade of the Maybelline Lifter Liners. These are one of the best from the drugstore, and this shade is Out of Line. This is a little more of a warm, toasty color. A little peachy, a little neutral. Now for a lipstick, or for my main lip color, I have this NYX Lip Ivy Hydrating Gloss Serum, and these do stain your lips, but it's been a while since I've worn one, and I don't think I've ever worn this color. I've had it on hand to try for quite a while, and this shade is Splash and Spice. I love it. So this is definitely a kind of like chocolatey, spicy brown, probably more cinnamony brown. So you can see quite a contrast. The lip color is definitely very brown, and the lip liner has more of the kind of warm terracotta tones in it. So I'm gonna let this sit for a moment, then we'll adjust it slightly. Okay, that helped bringing a little more of the lip liner color in there. I have a couple of glosses sitting here and I'm just thinking, we should just do it, right? I'm gonna add a tiny little bit. This is the Revlon gloss. This is the Glimmer Gloss in 005 Glazed Almond. And I think this just might bring in a touch more of the pinky gold tones that I want. Such a pretty color. Oh, I love that. All right, I'm back. And yes, my hair is looking totally different. And if you've not seen the hair tutorial that I just filmed, I will link it at the end of this video on the screen over here for you, but it's really fun. So go check it out. But here is the finished look with earrings, my outfit on, my hair done. Here it is. And overall, I really love how everything came together. There was a few struggles along the way, but I feel like we made it all work, and I love the overall color scheme. It's just one of my favorites to do, kind of the coppery browns with a little gold on the eyes, a kind of warm lip color, warm cheeks. And I feel like the winners for me are the Sunlit Dreams palette. I am so glad I swatched this color before starting this video because I forgot that it's the duochrome, and I just think this is going to be a very fun shadow. And the quality of these shadows, again, I feel like they get better and better, Alter Ego does, with their palettes. So that is a great win. The lip combination was a surprise to me because Honestly, when I kept seeing this in my collection, I was like, oh, why did I order that color? But paired with that little bit of warmth and peachy tones of the lip liner and that little touch of gloss, I love it. I love the combination. I think it's going to be great for fall. The cheeks were another struggle, and you know, we put several items on the chopping block for the cheeks, but another item that I'm going to put on the chopping block is actually the Pacifica Dream Glow. What is this? Dreamlit Glow Concealer. While it feels so nice, I got done with my makeup and was about ready to go do my hair, and it was looking creasy and I was starting to miss coverage already. I felt like the coverage was disappearing. So I went in with my faithful Revlon 5-in-1 concealer, added a couple dots right here, patted that in, and then added a little bit of the Wet n Wild pink powder, and that just transformed my under eyes. So sadly, this also is going on the chopping block. And as far as the primers go, I really like how my skin feels and looks around the perimeter. I wasn't as big of a fan of how the center looked. I think that the Grip On Lock primer was a win, but the Sweat On Lock primer, I am not so sure, but I'll keep you posted. So I hope this video was fun for you. It was really fun for me and helpful to pull all of these products out, try some new ones, but also pull out those products that I'm sitting there going, why are you still in my drawer? And should you still be in my drawer? And several of these things will not continue to be. So thank you for helping me work through my collection and see what is a winner and what is not. As always, check the description box down below. I will have a list and links of everything that I used today, along with a link for the hair tutorial. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up on your way out, and I will see you next time. Bye.